Good day, viewers. You are welcome to YangaLife channel, and it's still me, your presenter Chinedu. Yes, there is this recent development that came up when Anambra state government talked about enforcement of disability laws in public buildings, infrastructures. Yes, so this thing drew my attention. It drew my attention so much that we need to look into it and talk some little more about these disabilities. In our society, in this part of the world, we tend to neglect people with disabilities so much, which is not supposed to be. In fact, people with disabilities are supposed to give more priority than people with normal complete structure of body. I will explain that in this video, and I will tell you how it is done in foreign countries in the Western world, people that understood these things very well, that we are trying to copy. It's not just, I used to say, it is not just about copying something. If you want to do something, you copy it and do it rightly, not just doing something haphazardly. You see? So, but also I am going to give you some, some laid down rules, when it comes to guidelines concerning these disabilities. I'm going to give you some guidelines on how to, go about it in this video. Well, having said that, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscription button, notification bell, like this video. Let's hear your comment about this video, and don't forget to share it so that it will get to people in authority. Like I said, we are going to look into disabilities. Recently we went to Awka and we captured some areas that has walkways. The government decided to attach walkways in some particular areas. Well, it's an improvement anyway. That is what we have been preaching in our channel. Taking cognizance of the pedestrians, that they have the right of way. So it's an improvement, but it's just that government, I don't know if they are trying to save costs, and they just did one kind of rough work there, and the technicalities in that construction is very, very wrong. I will explain to that, but let's go straight to some videos. Then I will be explaining why we watch the videos. Thank you. Yes, viewers, like I said, we are going to discuss about improving public infrastructures for people with disability. So there is a recent news that came up that Anambra to enforce disability right law on public buildings, infrastructures, and developments. So, but like I said, it calls for mind, me in particular, what the state needs to do. I need to render my own, ideas, my own contribution towards that. Then, concerning this topic, I want to still give a guideline to improve access and mobility for persons with disability. Like I said, we neglect people with disabilities a lot, and which is not supposed to be. Like somebody mentioned in one of my videos concerning this place that we are visiting, I think is Steve. He goes by name Steve. He's a bit one of my top fans in this channel. So he mentioned it, and the thing struck my mind. I said, okay, I am going to do something about it. And later, when I saw this article about Anambra State to enforce disability right law on public buildings and infrastructure, I said, boom, this is when I am going to do a video on this. so that we can learn more and know where to improve. Like I said, this is a wonderful development for the state to have it in mind and have it physically by constructing walkways in our roads. It's a wonderful development, but there are more to it, so that you ensure safety of the people that are using the walkways, so that they don't injure their feet or have another dislocation because they are using the walkway. Most countries abroad, they give preference to pedestrians. Yes, I will explain that later in this video. So let me just brief us about what was said concerning that Anambra disability right now. Chike Madueke, chair of the Anambra Physical Planning Board, says the state government is committed to ensuring that all public buildings and infrastructures adhere strictly to provisions in the disability rights law. That is it. People that has any form of disability are supposed to use these walkways without hindrances. But if you observe our walkways, you see the defects on it, the one that we have on ground, but I am coming to that. Let me just finish the explanation. Later in the video, I am going to explain these defects. Then Madueke assured the Disability Commission that Chukwuma Soludo, governor of the state, is committed to building a livable and a prosperous state regardless of age, gender, class, or impairment, adding that everyone is important. Yes, everyone is very, very important in the state, in our society. He also assured the commission that the state government is willing to partner with them on the provision of accessible infrastructure. So these people, you can see the disabled people, if you see some of these things, in fact, I'm helping you now to speak on your behalf, that some of this infrastructure, they are not to your own standard. They are not to the standard that will suit the disabled people. So, but I am still coming to that explanation. Then your visit today is an eye-opener, because there are a lot of things we need to do differently in terms of how infrastructures are built, he said. Like, the public transport system should have a way to accommodate disabled people. Though our society may find that one very difficult, but it's supposed to be. I am still coming to that. Let me finish with this. Then we will work together. We will work together. These are the things that will improve the quality of lives of Anambra people. So your visit here is an act of God, and we will act accordingly. Ezewuzie said that their advocacy visit was part of effort to sensitize ministries and agencies on the operations and provisions of the State Disability Rights Laws 2018. These laws are of global standard. Those states can still enact their own to key in with sustainable development goals. All these things are not just for men making laws. It is part of United Nations sustainable goals, targets. Then let's continue. He said the disability rights laws, which was passed and asserted by the Willie Obiano, former governor of the state, was a domestication of international best practices contained in the United Nations Charter for people with disability. You see it? So this is what transpired in a visit by these people that are disabled. So, but I'm going to give my own guidelines. There are international laws that guide these things that we do. There are international disability rights and laws. So, but countries and states will domesticate their own laws, but to suit their environment, but it's not going to deviate from the international law. That is what we are saying. So I'm going to narrow it down to the guidelines to improve access and mobility for persons with disability. This is in addition to what has transpired. This will lead us to this sidewalks that we see on our roads. The explanation will lead us to that, so that we have more understanding. That is not just coming to do some road pavements in the name of sidewalks. Well, but I still thank the state government for taking that bold step to initiate that. So having said that, let's go towards the guidelines. Guidelines to improve access and mobility for persons with disabilities involve those expected deliverables to help mobility and accessibility for persons with disabilities. Though there are small differences in specifications across the world, what is considered good practice is remarkably similar across the world, just like what I have said earlier. Then basic principles of good access and mobility. The 4 basic principles of good access and mobility are safety, accessibility, affordability, reliability. I hope you are following me. You are following the explanation. Now we are coming down to basic principles of good access and mobility. After constructing your road sidewalks and some public infrastructures, have you considered safety for people with disability? Did you consider accessibility? Did you consider affordability and reliability? I am still going to show you a clip of pedestrian walkway, pedestrian bridge, sorry, not walkway this time, pedestrian bridge in Asaba, that you will see an example of taking into cognizance of people with disabled. They have their own use, they have their own way, and ordinary people have their own way. I will show you that. It's not just some of these places that we construct pedestrian walkways, pedestrian bridge rather. Some of them are not up to international standard. They don't have that recognition for people with disability. But I'm coming to that. I will still show you the video. So let's proceed. Now we talk about safety. Let's start with safety. Mobility aids should be maintained to ensure they are safe to use. 1. Wheelchair should be fitted with safety brakes. Pedestrian footways should be separated from vehicular traffic ways. You see this thing we are talking. Pedestrian footways should be separated from vehicular traffic ways, because these people, they use this pedestrian walkway. People with disabilities, they use it. Then provide good street lighting. You see to it, street lighting is part of it. All intersections where there is traffic lights, traffic should be stopped long enough to allow slow walkers to cross. That's in zebra crossings and where you have intersections. Public transport should have dedicated wheelchair space and ramps to help wheelchair users board public transport. You see to it that the public transport should have dedicated wheelchair space. A wheelchair space, I will show you just a picture of it, where a ramp where people with wheelchair can easily, somebody can pull them up to board. Then dropped curbs close to accessible parking to get the footways Curb ramps should provide level surface from road to footways. You see some places where curbs, there should be a place where curbs will be dropped so that people with wheelchair can, people that has challenges can easily climb up the pedestrian walkway so that they can walk easily. Then we talk of pedestrian walkway ramps should not be 2 steps. The walkway ramps should not be 2 steps. Many countries recommend a gradient of 8%, just slopey, just the thing will just slope like that so that it will be easy for people to climb. Then minimize crossing distance by extending curbs across lanes and installing center island. Public transport should be fitted with belts, lights to inform drivers of requests to stop. Okay? Then persons with disabilities can be given priority seating, which is close to the driver and the exit of the public transport vehicles. In this part of the world, we have not started talking about these things, but abroad, some places, they are implementing it. Then we are done with safety of disabled people. We are talking about accessibility. Now we have entered accessibility. At least some vehicle used for public transport like buses should be fitted with a slide door wheelchair lifts. Raised crossing used judicially can enhance pedestrian safety and accessibility. That's raised crossing used judiciously can enhance pedestrian safety and accessibility. We are done with accessibility now. Let's enter affordability. The cost of mobility aids should be low enough so that majority of people can afford it. Government and good-spirited individuals can help to subsidize the prices of those mobility aids, like all those wheelchairs and the rest of them that are good for people with disabled. For policymakers and planners, it is cheaper to install accessibility functions in new and maintenance projects. It is cheaper to install accessibility functions in new and maintenance projects. Then we talk about reliability now. Footpaths should provide uninterrupted, accessible way between designated points. This is where our own point is, laid down. Footpaths should provide uninterrupted accessibility way between designated points. What I'm saying here is that footpaths or pedestrian walkways, that are sidewalks, they are supposed to be continuous movement of sidewalks. It is better for the cars to come and have a little slow down and climb up small and drop a kind of it will be a kind of speed bump for cars, but that the pedestrian walkway should have a continuous movement from one point to the other. That is the point that they are making here to help people with disabled. I'm going to show you some video in that regard. Then design layouts of footpaths or crossing should be consistent. The layout of footpaths should be consistent. Mobility aids should be constructed to cope with the rough terrain found in many developing countries. Another point is that people should do some research, while trying to construct some of these infrastructures, or trying to recognize pedestrian walkways, sidewalks, or these things, so that it will not be a job done haphazardly. Then authorities should subsidize the cost of transport for persons with disability. These ones I'm just talking about the disabled. The guidelines to improve access and mobility for persons with disabilities. This topic is dedicated to them, disabled people, and the use of sidewalks. Then let me round up this explanation. Globally, efforts are being made to inclusion of persons with disability in transportation systems. Some countries like Nigeria have taken good steps in advocacy, consultation, and cooperation, and the enactment of the Discriminations Against Persons with Disability Act, that's Prohibition Act 2018. However, implementation has been, the bane of many laws and policies. Therefore, relevant authorities are enjoined to make funds available and also make conscious effort to ensure proper planning and implementation so as to achieve the much needed inclusion of people with disability in our society. That is the point. Our problem is implementation when it comes to Nigeria, but we are good at making laws, but enforcement is the problem. So having said that, you can see that in the issue of constructing road sidewalks, that it shouldn't have all these interruptions that we are having, in our walkways, like the walkways I'm showing. You shouldn't have it so that it will not injure people and it will help people with disabled to use these road sidewalks. And like I said, it is better to give precedence to people that are walking than the cars that are entering their compound. Just the walkway should be a continuous walkway from one point to the other, while the cars are expected to just climb the ramp a little bit and drop. So you can see all these interruptions on the pedestrian walkways are not supposed to, because it's going to affect the safety of pedestrians, which includes the disabled. So I will show you a clip of the correct way of doing these pedestrian walkways. Cars are the ones that are supposed to climb it a bit and drop in a very neat way. Not all this sharp construction that can, cause injuries. We are trying to get it right and not just, okay, let's just go and do something. No. Let's do it and do it well. Anything worth doing is worth doing well. So I will show you this clip so that you see how it is done. Understand? Then observe this walkway. You will see how that place was slanted, almost blend with the road, so that somebody with wheelchair or physically challenged person can easily, enter the walkway. So you can see the walkways has continuous movement. I am coming to other videos where you will see how uninterrupted is. Okay, you can see this one now. You see this vehicle climbing. It do as if it's climbing and it is dropping again. This is a large pedestrian walkway. So let's see another one. You see? So they give priority to pedestrians more than the cars, more than the vehicles. See this one now. You see pedestrian walkway now. You see it's continuous, and the vehicles can now come and climb it a bit and drop. While the movement is continuous, you can see it continues, it climbs and drop. The pedestrians has smooth movement. So priority should be given to people, not to vehicles. Somebody can hurt his feet or break his leg, but vehicles, highest your tire is bad, then you go and change your tire and nothing will happen to your tire anyway. So but human beings are more important than the vehicle. I hope you get the point. See, you can see how they are dropping. Priorities are given to pedestrians more than the vehicles. I think I've made my point. Thank you. Let's proceed. Then I want you to observe this pedestrian footbridge. That's the footbridge at Summit Junction. Is almost abandoned, but that footbridge is to international standard. Summit Junction in Asaba. In fact, the footbridge has been abandoned. People cross the expressway anyhow without using the bridge. You can see it's just left untidy. You can see there is this slope here. It's for people with disabled. It's for disabled people with disabilities, and the other one is for normal people that can climb the staircase. You can see wheelchair can easily be pushed up to this, and you see the other one is the staircase, is the steps. You can use steps for normal people. People with disability can use the other one. That is the way it is being done. This one is in Asaba Summit Road Junction along the expressway. That's why I decided to bring it to you so that you can have a good example of a standard pedestrian bridge. The one we have at Unizictum site doesn't have this disabled infrastructure. We are trying to bring it to the notice of the government, in line with what the government is talking about the law of disabilities, including the people with disabilities, their right to, public access to infrastructures and buildings. That is it. So this is the standard one pedestrian bridge, and we are crossed over to the other side so that you can see how the other side is, how it ended. You can see the same thing, because if you follow the other side, you still drop here. If you follow here, you drop at the other side. But let's climb up there and see how it looks like. This is the full view of the pedestrian bridge. So let's go up there and see how the up looks like. So having seen it, we are making our way down so that we can round up the video that we have started in earnest. Well, this video is dedicated to people with disabilities and the pedestrians. We are with you. YangaLife channel is with you, and we want to show you love by, bringing this video to limelight so that the government can still see it and recognize you and make amends to the public infrastructures to accommodate people with disabilities and the pedestrians using the walkways. So having said that, I wish to bring this video to the end. Until I come your way next time, bye for now. I still remain Chinedu, your presenter.